Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 15 of the ORL season here at Singapore. Now, before we get any further, I would like to apologise because I made a slight mistake, or a rather big mistake, and at the start of the actual race, I left the lobby, which resulted in me being unable to join. So as a result, Mr. Barney has been very, very kind and allowed us to commentate from his perspective. So a massive thank you to Barney, and we are therefore doing a post-commentary highlight video. However, as we are ready to get away at this 5-kilometer track, Singapore has hosted every single night race since 2008. 24 corner track and the second out-and-out street circuit on the calendar aside from Monaco, if you don't consider the likes of Albert Park, etc. However, our qualifying results were Formula Danny took first, 200ths ahead of VSR Muller, followed by Williams Timp, Veloci Photon and Williams Isaac in 5th. Marek took 6th ahead of Mark 313, with Kane taking 8th. Corky took 9th, and rounding out the top 10 was Nagrom. However, Nagrom, Corky, Kane and Muller are all starting on the Hypersoft tyres, while everyone else will be starting on the Ultra Softs. So expect those four to be pitting rather early, and it could affect their strategies. Also, very big news. Due to the lag spikes that Calzapher had last time at Monza, which caused Muller to DNF from the race, Calzapher will be starting from the back of the grid and has a mandatory pit stop at the end of lap 1. So we were discussing with him before the race itself, asking him what strategies would he do. Would he go on to those soft tyres at the end of lap 1 and try to stretch it out to the end of the race? Or perhaps he'll just put pit onto a fresh set of tyres and do a one-stop strategy. But for everyone else, expect a 1 or 2 stop strategy. For the guys on the Hypersofts, probably a 2-stop strategy, and for those guys starting on the Ultra Softs, it will most likely be a 1-stop strategy. However, Singapore, very tight, but you do have overtaking opportunities, unlike Monaco, which is why, in my opinion, Singapore is a little bit better of a track than Monaco, because you get the thrill of a street circuit, but also the opportunities to overtake with 2 DRS zones, one on the start-finish straight, and then one on the straight after turn 5. But anyway, we're coming around the final corner to line up in the grid. Mr. Barney starting at 14th. He's got his teammate Ben Cito just behind him, but he will be lining up alongside Elsinger. Don't forget, in the championship, Renault are ahead of Ferrari, but with Calzapher starting at the back of the grid, Photon in his Ferrari may have a really good chance to pull out some points. But anyway, guys, we are almost ready to go. Then waiting for Calzapher himself. You can see him on the mini-map lining up on the grid in his Renault. But guys, are you ready for this? Because I sure am. So let's get this race underway. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. Mr. Barney gets a pretty decent start. Black Panther not getting off too well. Milo will hold on to the position. What can Barney do? Possibly going to go down the inside. Black Panther sweeps around the outside of Barney. He's up into 10th place. Can he pick off Nagrom as well? He's on the outside. We can't see if he gets better traction. Elsinger will move up ahead of Barney, although he did start ahead in the first place. But aside from that, it's been a pretty clean start. You can see the Ferrari up ahead. I think that's not Muller, Photon racing with Timp and co. However, Ben Cito's looking to have a little go at the Barney into turn 7. Barney has to avoid Miler's rear end, and I think that's Corky. He almost touched the wall on the left-hand side in the McLaren, but side by side between Barney, and that's Calzapher. Calzapher's had a great start. He's up into 15th. Never write off Calzapher. But here we go. It's now Soren. So Soren actually started really down the order. I kind of forgot about that. I guess he had a poor qualifying session, but Calzapher's up ahead of Barney now. As Miler runs wide, and there's a little bit of contact between him and Calzapher. So I'm not sure if he was possibly going for the undercut there. But anyway, Ben Cito is behind Barney at the minute, and Ben Cito has got ahead of Soren as Barney comes really close to touching the back of Miler. So Calzapher has got past Elsinger. The 2 teammates, maybe Elsinger didn't put up too much of a fight. They both know that they are at the top of the constructors and they need to get every point if they want to keep Ferrari at bay, and actually Mercedes as well. But here we come through the last corner, and that's Kalsberg in the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. There's also a Red Bull, no, a Toro Rosso, so that's Muller, I think that's in the pit. Muller or Marek, I believe. Bencito has made it through on Barney, loses the back end ever so slightly. But through turn 5 we go. He's got a decent run, but obviously no DRS as of yet. And in the lead you can see, I think that's up to Corky. That's pulled out a bit of a lead. So you can see it's Formula Danny. Then you've got Muller. Sorry, Formula Danny, Photon. Then Tim in the Sauber. And then it's Muller. And then after that, I think that's Isaac. Followed by, I'm not sure who's in the second Ferrari. But it's Muller. Sorry, it's Isaac, someone. And then probably Mark, actually. Because Mark is in one of the Saubers. But anyway, riding board, we've got Corky. Is he having a go at? Who's that ahead? Elsinger. Corky's run wide, and Barney will pick up the position. Corky running wide. So easy to do that into turn 15. And now we enter sector 3. Probably one of the more fun sections, because it is very, as they say, it's a Mickey Mouse section, but it is still very fun. You get very close to the walls, but you have to be extremely patient on the power, as Williams Tim sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, trying to hunt down Mr. Formula Danny. Bencito running a bit wide. Will this give Barney an opportunity? We've got Kane and Soren behind. Kane probably pitted at the start of the race because he was on those hyper soft tyres. Right, so cutting over to lap 4 now as we're going to head into turn 7. And someone's on the inside as Barney runs wide, locks up, and that's the front wheel gone. And that's Barney out of the race. We're not sure who was alongside there, but that's Barney's race over. But now we're cutting through to lap 7 of the Grand Prix, and this is Myler on the back of Black Panthers. Black Panther has a moment. He stops himself from going into the barriers, but losing the back end on the exit of turn 22. However, what we have now is Nagrom has found a way on the outside of Weebs into turn 7. So good move there from Nagrom. Now on to lap 8. We've got a bit of a group here. We've got Soren, Black Panther and Elsinger all jousting for the top, the 8th position. Black Panther's going to have a look down the inside of Soren, and he will get the move to Sick. Elsinger's also going to have a little go, and he will make it past. I think Soren might have an issue. I'm not sure if his car was desyncing or not, but that's Black Panther up a position, but he's got Elsinger right behind him as Soren has left the session. Now, I can confirm in this series we did have many issues with ghosting cars, and you can see it now. Look how slowly Soren's going, because the car just does not ghost. We had a few DNFs, and this is mainly Soren and Isaac. They had both left the session, but the cars were still going around on circuit and very slowly, causing a lot of mayhem for some of the other drivers. But now on to lap 10, we've got Emilio Sachs is closing in on that desyncing car of Soren, so I'm sure he will have a go into turn 15. I think we're going to, yeah, he's going to sweep around the outside and he will claim that position. Fairly straightforward move, and Emilio Sachs up into 14th place. And now what do we have? We've got Muller and Weebs. Muller's going to go down the inside of Weebs. What corner was that? I can't quite remember. But now we're looking up ahead. It's Nagrom versus Elsinger. Can he just stick in that slipstream as we pan away just for a second? But we are back onto the racing now. Into the right left chicane. I believe we're into 17 and 18 now. Yes, as we're about to head into the tunnel. So Nagrom, hopefully he'll be trying to line up Elsinger for that start finish straight. He is on 5 lap pressure tyres. He's on those ultra softs. He did pit rather early on in the race. I think he pitted lap 5 or something like that. Sorry, lap 6. But yeah, here we go. Nagrom will get DRS, will move over to the inside, and I'm sure it's going to be an easy job into turn 1. But you can see Calcifer behind. He is on those soft tyres, so he did have to pit on lap 1, and he's been on those tyres since. But now, as we move up to lap 13, we've got Bencito, who is on the back of Weebs. And will he have a little dive into turn 1? He's going to move over to the inside, and he will make the move stick. Bencito up into the final points position on the soft tyres, and only done 1 lap on them. However, moving up the grid, we've got Calcifer and Muller. So Muller has a DRS. Muller on 4 laps fresher soft tyres. So just to clarify, because we didn't see what happened to Muller earlier, Muller had to pit because he had some front wing damage early in the race. So he's essentially on the same strategy as Calcifer, just that he pitted a couple of laps later. So I'm not sure, we might not see Calcifer contest his position, but at the same time they are on the same strategy. So Calcifer, he moves to the inside, but he does squeeze Muller a bit hard but fair. Muller trying to hold it around the outside of turn 7, but I don't think he can. He's on the inside for 8 now. Can Calcifer hold it around the outside? Yes, great racing from the two of them. But now we're going to head into turn 9. Muller a little bit too far back to contest, and now we're going to head into 10, 11, 12 and 13. But if Muller can get a good exit out of 14, he can have a go into turn 15. No DRS in the upcoming straight, but Muller having a little look down the inside into 14, the tightest corner on the track. And I don't think that was the best idea. I think he should have waited to get the best exit on this straight. No DRS down this straight, but now into turn 15 they go. Muller all over the back of Calcifer. Can he find a way through? I'm sure he's fiddling around with his deployment, etc. But Calcifer closing into Nagrom, who is on old ultra soft tyres. So Calcifer will have the benefit of DRS at the end of this lap. He's only 1.2 seconds down, so if he can get it within 1 second on the exit of this chicane, he will get DRS. And if he can't, he will have the slipstream regardless. There we go, it's 0.9 seconds. Calcifer will have the DRS, which will help him massively try to defend. No, he doesn't have DRS. Muller has DRS though, but Calcifer has a little toe from Nagrom in that slipstream. And Muller will probably have to wait for the upcoming straight that leads into turn 7. But this time Calcifer is definitely close enough to Nagrom to get that DRS. And you can see they both open up that rear wing. Can Muller have a go, or will it be Calcifer who finds a way through on Nagrom? Here we go, Calcifer, he's going to have to back out of the move, which means Muller's going to get a better run through turn 7. What can he do? He's going to look for the inside. Side by side they are once again through turn 8. And we panned away just for a second, but Calcifer will hold on to that position. Calcifer racing extremely hard, but fair. And Calcifer holds on to this position. Every point is vital for him if he wants to stop Formula Danny from closing him up at the top of the standings. Here we go into the tight turn 14. And Muller definitely got the better run that time. He is right up the chuff of Calcifer. Can he have a go? He's looking for the outside. He's going to switch over to the inside. And, okay, he's having a go. There's a bit of a moment. Was there contact? But Muller will now pick up the position as they head into the right-left. Calcifer's going to force Muller wide. So Calcifer pushing Muller all the way out wide, but Muller holds on to it. Calcifer now on the outside, we keep panning away. Side by side as they go under the tunnel of 19 and 20. Calcifer, how are you holding on to this? Muller must be so frustrated right now. But this is fantastic entertainment for us. Muller are ever so close to Calcifer as they go around the double left-hander. Nagrom's going to come in the pit, so Calcifer won't have DRS. Muller look for the outside, but he's going to do the Daniel Ricciardo switcheroo into the inside. He will take first and move up. Sorry, he will take the position and move up into 6th through the first corner. Nice little switcheroo there from Mr. Muller. But now skipping just ahead on the lap, Calcifer. He's looking for a way back past Muller into turn 7. He can't find it. Maybe into turn 8 he can get a little something off. No, he can't. I think Muller will just about hold on to the position as he's just about started to stretch that gap now. And he will start to hunt down Mark. However, what do we have now? This is Marek and Williams Tim. They're battling for second place. So the second step on the podium as there's a little contact as they head into turn 7. Tim trying to get as much road as he can as Mark has disconnected from the session. So Mark is out of the race. This is fantastic news from Calcifer. Calcifer, in a race where he was not looking to score many points, he's had Sauron disconnect, Kane's disconnected, Isaac has disconnected, and now Mark as well. So very, very lucky stuff from Calcifer. But anyway, still riding on board with Marek and Timp. We're only got 11.5 laps remaining. But here we head into turn 15. Marek is right on Timp as we're going to jump forward. Where are we now? Marek has DNF. There's something's happened in that final corner. And oh wow. So Timp has lost his front wing. He's gone round the wrong way around the track to get into the pits. But Marek is out of the race. And what I can confirm is after the race, what had happened was that Bencito had crashed into the pit entry wall, but he didn't ghost, which means that Timp hit him because he had no vision of him coming around the corner. And when Timp hit him, Marek hit him as well and DNF. But meanwhile, we've got Nagrom on Mile, and Nagrom's pitted onto fresh ultra soft tires, and he's going to move up into 6th place. But this is fantastic news for Calcifer, who's gained 2 spots as a result. As that's Muller. Muller has spun, but he gets it back in the right way again, and he loses the back end getting the power on. We all know that feeling when the tyres are just a little bit too hot. You try to spin it around and then your wheels just spin up way too easily. But Muller has to wait for Nagrom and Myler to get through. And that's terrible news for him. He was ahead of Calcifer. He was in the running for 3rd. And he has thrown this away. Again, more good news for Calcifer. But now we are riding on board with Tim, who has closed up to Calcifer. And again, Muller would have been ahead of this. And Muller would have been in contention for 3rd, but things have run right into the favour of Calcifer. You've had Timp having that issue, Muller crashing, but now what do we have? We've got Corky on Weebs. This is for the final couple of points. Corky will go down the inside and take that position fairly straightforwardly. Now we've got Black Panther. He's going to go down the inside of Elsinger, and actually Elsinger, I think he's got an issue. He seems to be quite slow. Maybe he's lost a bit of front wing. Only 8 laps remaining, so you can understand him staying out on the track. But here comes Corky. Again, it's on Elsinger. Look how slow Elsinger is out of the corner. Let's just ride on board with Elsinger through this right hand. Yeah, look how slow he's taking it. I'm sure he's got some front wing damage to his car there. So riding on board with Nagrom now. 4 laps remaining, and he's 6 seconds down on Calcifer. And there's a yellow flag, and that is Toffee, who has done the same thing that Barney did, running wide into that corner, losing his front wing. But now look at this cluster of lap cars. Calcifer's just made his way through, but there is a Nagrom, and Nagrom is going to be trying his best to get through this as quickly as possible. Emilio gets well out of the way, but the issue for Nagrom is one of the cars ahead is Elsinger, who is Calcifer's teammate, and the other one I think is Sauron or Isaac, who is the not ghosting but DNF'd car. Elsinger gets well out of the way, but now it's about how quickly can Nagrom get past Isaac, because Isaac's de-thinking and he catches him right at the wrong moment as they head into 10-11. He's going to go, oh, and he gets squeezed massively. And that's the thing about this, you just cannot predict the AI sometimes. They're about 6 seconds off the pace. But Nagrom's through, but he has lost a second getting through that traffic. I think Calcifer caught it just at a little bit better point in time. And once again, it has just all been going slightly in the favour. Oh, as there's contact between Weebs and Elsinger. As Weebs goes past the injured car of Elsinger, and Elsinger just losing the back end, so there was a little bit of contact there. But yeah, as I've been saying, Calcifer has been lucky in this race. You've had Isaac's has had to essentially DNF, Sauron's DNF, Muller's DNF, Marek DNF, Mark DNF, Kane DNF, and these are all drivers who should arguably have been ahead of Calcifer. Even Muller as well. He spun and he lost his front wing and he ended up retiring from the race. Even Timp almost fell behind Calcifer with that incident through the final corner. But at the minute, Formula Danny, as he heads on to the penultimate lap, he has a 21-second gap to Photon, and then a further 27 seconds to Timp, and then another 26 seconds to Calcifer. So between the top 4, there is over a minute separating them. That is a crazy gap in the lead of this race here for round 15 of ORL. But Nagrom is closing down on Calcifer, only 2.8 seconds, and they have 2.5 laps remaining. So he has been closing up by about over a second a lap, I'd like to say. So we might see something on the final lap. However, I was riding a ball with Nagrom for the entire race because, as I mentioned, I couldn't get back into the race, so I found Nagrom's live stream, so I was commentating live stream from his point of view. And Jeff came over the radio to him and told him that his DRS is broken. Now, I will confirm to you that his DRS did not come back up for the rest of the race. So in the battle you're about to see with Nagrom and Calcifer, do bear in mind that Nagrom does not have any DRS, which will make this harder, but possibly more entertaining and a bit more. We might see a bit more side by side battling, wheel to wheel racing between the two of them. But don't expect Calcifer to let the position go easily. He needs every single point to stop Formula Danny closing him in the championships. We've only got about 6 races, I think, after today, 6 or 4 races, and at the minute I think he's only about 90 something points ahead of Formula Danny. So as it stands at the minute, he will lose about 12 points. 12 points, I think it's 12 points. 25, 18, 15, 12. So he's going to lose 13 points. So he does need to make sure he can take every single point, because this championship might come right down to the wire. However, I also feel like it's worth saying a big shout out to Corky, second race of ORL, and he's in the points once again, so a good job from him. And of course, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope, Mr. Corky, you are enjoying your time in the online racing league. However, Formula Danny has started his final lap. We are still riding a ball with Calcifer, but Nagrom 1.2 seconds behind as they've just made their way through turn 14. Look how close Nagrom is. He's almost within a second. If he had DRS, he would get DRS down the start, finish straight at this rate. However, they've got just over a lap remaining as they now enter the Mickey Mouse section. They've gone through 18. They're going to head under the bridge into 19 and 20. Look how close Nagrom is. We are in for a great final battle. It's not the battle for the win, but it is the battle for 4th place, and still a lot of point. Here we go through the final corner. How close can Nagrom get? Remember, no DRS, so you won't see that rear wing opening. Again, it's just in that McLaren. Obviously, all cars are set to realistic, but he just can't seem to get the overspeed from slipstream alone. But riding a ball with Calcifer, the back end stepping out a little bit. Don't forget, Calcifer's been on these tyres for 29 laps since the end of lap 1. But look how close Nagrom is. Formula Danny has just taken the win, but we are not too bothered by that, because down the long straight, what can Nagrom do? He's in the slipstream. He's going to go for the outside. Can he hold it around the outside? No, he can't. Calcifer runs a little wide, so does Nagrom, but he didn't force him out wide. Through turn 8 they go, and now into 9. Possibly we might see something into turn 10. Nagrom is right behind Calcifer. He just can't. He's going to have a little luck, but he can't do it. Calcifer closes the door, which is fair. Now possibly Nagrom's last chance on the exit of 14. Can he get the better run? Look how much he closes under braking. But because he ran wide in that previous corner, he shouldn't have gone for that. He should have waited for the opportune moment into turn 15, which is where we are now. This is pretty much the last overtaking point. Nagrom right on the back of Calcifer. He just doesn't seem to have enough of an advantage in the tyres to really dive bomb it. But now we're entering the last possible moments of the lap. Nagrom, maybe he can have a go into the final corner. We've seen some people do that in the past. Calcifer and Nagrom both losing the back end a little bit through 22. Now in through 23 and 24. Nagrom, can he have a go down the inside into the double left-handed? No, he can't. Calcifer is going to take 4th place, but he has a 5-second penalty. Oh, that is so unfortunate for Calcifer. Now, after the race, in the post-race interviews, which I don't think I will be including, but Calcifer did mention he will appeal that, so he might get 5th anyway. However, that being said, he got the penalty. Nagrom didn't have DRS, so I feel if Nagrom had DRS, he would have taken the position. But anyway, your race winner for today is once again Formula Danny, and taking 2nd place is Velociphoton ahead of Tim. Now that would have been the finishing positions anyway, even if Tim and Marek didn't come together, but Marek might have jumped Tim, but those two probably would have been third and fourth in one order or the other. So it has been a chaotic race here at Singapore for round 15. Next weekend we are at Russia, but just for a final confirmation of the standings, Formula Danny from Photo from Tim, then you've got Nagrom, Calcifer, Myler, Black Panther, Corky in 8, and then rounding out the top 10 you've got Weebs and Elsinger. Emilio was the last finishing driver in 11th place. Isaac and so on were just desyncing around the track, and actually did slightly affect that battle for 4th place between Nagrom and Mark. However guys, that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do leave a like and subscribe. Also check out the ORL page as well. But this guys has been round 15 here at Singapore, and until next Thursday 7:45 GMT, join us for round 16 at Russia. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you next time.